Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, your go-to spot for everything fishing. I'm your host, and today, my friends, we're diving deep into the much-anticipated fishing forecast for our incredible waters, covering the week from the 8th to the 14th of September 2025. This week is shaping up to be a real mixed bag, full of transitions and opportunities as spring truly starts to stretch its legs. We'll see some classic spring conditions, a touch of unsettled weather, and even some prime feeding windows, especially for our beloved trout, and some feisty saltwater dwellers. So, grab your coffee, settle in, because we're about to uncover where the fish will be, what they'll be biting on, and how you can make the most of every single cast this week. Let's kick things off with the weather, because as you know, it's the conductor of our fishing symphony. This week, we're looking at typical early spring conditions across our region. Air temperatures will generally hover between 11 and 15 degrees Celsius. These mild temperatures are a welcome change after winter, signaling to the fish that it's time to become more active. Atmospheric pressure will start fairly stable, but we'll see some fluctuations, especially midweek. Stable pressure, my friends, often means happy, active fish, so keep an eye on those barometers. When the pressure starts to drop ahead of a front, that can sometimes trigger a pre-front feeding frenzy, but a rapid drop usually spells tougher fishing. Wind patterns will be somewhat variable. We can expect light to moderate breezes for much of the week, with some potential for gustier conditions, particularly around any incoming rain fronts. A calm, gentle breeze can be your best friend, creating a nice ripple on the water that makes fish feel secure. Strong winds, on the other hand, can make presentation difficult and push baitfish, and therefore predatory fish, deeper or to sheltered areas. As for precipitation, we'll have a relatively dry start to the week. However, Thursday is looking a bit wet, with some significant rain expected around 6.86 millimeters. Lighter showers might pop up on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, with about 1.02 to 4.57 millimeters of rain expected on each of those days. Rain can stir up the water, wash in nutrients and insects, which in turn can get the fish actively feeding. But a heavy downpour can muddy the waters and temporarily shut down the bite. So, timing is everything. Remember, my experience tells me that just before or immediately after a good shower, the fishing can be exceptional. Now let's talk water temperature, a crucial factor for spring fishing. In our coastal waters, we're seeing average temperatures around 15 degrees Celsius, though some southern areas might be a bit cooler, closer to 12 degrees Celsius. In our freshwater lakes and rivers, the water is definitely on a warming trend. This gradual increase, driven by milder air temperatures and recent rainfall, is really waking up the fish. As the water warms, fish metabolisms speed up, making them hungrier and more willing to chase a meal. This is when they start to move out of their deeper winter hideouts and explore shallower, food-rich areas. For all you moon gazers out there, let's look at the lunar influence. This week kicks off right after the full moon, which officially happened on Sunday, the 7th of September. So, on Monday, the 8th, we'll still be under the bright influence of a 99% illuminated full moon before transitioning into the waning gibbous phase for the rest of the week, leading towards the third quarter moon. By Sunday, the 14th, popular fishing wisdom often suggests that fishing can be tough right around the full moon due to increased nocturnal feeding, making fish less active during the day. However, a strong bite can sometimes occur during the changing tides associated with the full moon. As we move into the waning gibbous, the fish might settle into a more predictable feeding pattern, especially during dawn and dusk. Spring, my friends, is a truly exciting time in our waters. It's the official start of the fishing season in many parts of the region, and fish are coming alive after their winter dormancy. Freshwater species like rainbow and brown trout are becoming incredibly active, often moving closer to the surface as they seek out warmer water and abundant food sources. Sea-run trout are beginning their migrations, especially in the South Island's rivers and fjords. Our larger lakes, like Rotorua and Taupo, are now fully open, and their tributaries are seeing some excellent action for late spawning rainbows. In the saltwater, we're seeing increased numbers of snapper moving into casting range. And for those who love a serious fight, the hard-hitting kingfish are in hot pursuit of baitfish, often in peak condition before their spawning period. Baitfish are abundant, creating workups that attract predators, particularly in areas like the Hauraki Gulf. This means the food chain is in full swing, and where there's bait, there are predators. Remember, early mornings and late afternoons are generally prime feeding times, regardless of the species you're after. For our freshwater enthusiasts, the trout fishing this week should be excellent, especially with the warming waters. Where to find? Look for trout in shallower areas of lakes and rivers, particularly around weed beds, submerged structures, and the edges of drop-offs where they can ambush prey. River mouths and lower reaches of rivers are also hot spots as sea-run trout move in and estuarine trout fatten up. During warmer parts of the day, they might be cruising closer to the surface. On what to fish? Spinning. Light spinning gear with small to medium-sized soft baits in natural colors like green, brown, or pearl, or classic trout lures like Tassie Devils or trout spoons will work wonders. Try a slow retrieve with occasional pauses. Fly fishing. For fly anglers, nymphs are key, especially weighted nymphs in mountain streams. Patterns like a hare and copper, pheasant tail, or glowbugs for late spawners are excellent choices. Streamers like a woolly bugger can also be very effective, mimicking baitfish. Don't forget to keep an eye out for hatches. A dry fly presentation could be deadly during those windows, particularly in the evenings. Bait fishing. Garden worms, scrub worms, or even corn can be effective, especially in tributary mouths or slower-moving sections of rivers. Use a running sinker rig to allow the bait to drift naturally. Why these tactics? The warming water makes trout more active and aggressive. They're foraging heavily, and a good imitation of their natural food sources or an enticingly presented lure will trigger strikes. The increased activity near the surface means they're more likely to hit lures or flies fished higher in the water column. If you're after a powerful fight, the kingfish are definitely on the menu this week. Where to find? Target these powerful predators around offshore reefs, pinnacles, channel entrances, and areas where baitfish are schooling, often indicated by workups of birds and other predatory fish. Drop-offs and current lines are also prime locations. Land-based anglers should focus on rocky headlands and deeper wharf areas with good current flow. On what to fish? Jigging. Heavy jigging setups are essential. Vertical jigs in the 150 to 300 gram range are effective, particularly in natural baitfish colors or bright, flashy patterns. Work them aggressively with a fast retrieve and sharp rod lifts. Topwater. Stick baits and poppers can produce explosive strikes, especially during dawn and dusk. Choose a lure that imitates a larger baitfish. Live baiting. This is often the most effective method. Use kahawai, mackerel, or pilchards as live bait, rigged on a strong circle hook under a balloon or drifted unweighted. Why these tactics? Kingfish are apex predators that feed aggressively on baitfish. The spring season sees them in peak condition and actively feeding, often in schools, making them susceptible to fast-moving jigs and topwater lures. Live bait is irresistible to them, especially when they are actively hunting in baitfish-rich areas. Our iconic snapper are also becoming more accessible as the waters warm up, making this a great week to target them. Where to find? Look for snapper in depths from 10 to 40 meters, especially around foul ground, reef edges, and sand patches near structure. They also move into shallower waters around 5 to 15 meters, particularly during low light periods or overcast days. In harbors and estuaries, look for them around channel markers and mussel farms. On what to fish? Soft baits. This is a highly effective method. Use 7 to 10 inch soft plastic jerk shads or curly tails in natural colors like pilchard, motor oil, or natural baitfish. Rig them on a 1/2 to 1 ounce jig head, depending on current and depth. Work them with a slow lift and drop, letting the tail do the work. Bait fishing. Pilchards, squid, skipjack, or fresh cut baits presented on a strayline rig or ledger rig are deadly. use a small sharp hook from 2/0 to 4/0 circle hook to ensure good hookups. Kabura, Inchiku, jigs. These slow jigs are excellent for enticing snapper, especially when they are a bit finicky. Fish them slowly, letting the skirt and soft plastic tail flutter on the retrieve. Why these tactics? As the water warms, snapper move into more diverse feeding grounds. Soft baits accurately mimic their natural prey, like small fish and crustaceans. Natural baits are, of course, always enticing. Slow jigs appeal to their opportunistic feeding nature and can be effective when they are not aggressively chasing fast-moving lures. Now for our daily breakdown. Monday, the 8th of September. Kickstarting our week on Monday, the 8th of September, with the lingering energy of the full moon and an air temperature around 16 degrees Celsius, dropping to 10 degrees Celsius. We expect mostly clear skies with very light rain, approximately 0.08 millimeters. I'm giving this day a good rating. The stable start to the week and the full moon tides could stimulate some decent early morning and late afternoon bites, especially for trout and actively feeding kingfish. Just be prepared for a slightly slower bite in the middle of the day as the moon transitions to waning gibbous. Tuesday, the 9th of September. Moving on to Tuesday, the 9th of September, temperatures will hold steady around 16 degrees Celsius down to 10 degrees Celsius, and importantly, no rain is expected. This looks like a your good to excellent or day for fishing. Stable weather and clear skies with a waning gibbous moon should keep the fish happy and actively feeding. Focus on those prime morning and evening hours, but don't be surprised if the bite extends well into the day. Pressure should be stable, which is always a bonus. Wednesday, the 10th of September. Wednesday, the 10th of September, sees temperatures around 15 degrees Celsius dropping to 11 degrees Celsius, still with no rain. I'm calling this a good bite's day. Conditions remain settled and fish should maintain a consistent feeding pattern under a waning gibbous moon. It's a great day to explore new spots or try different presentations. Freshwater trout will be actively foraging and saltwater species will be keen. Enjoy the calm before the potential storm. Thursday, the 11th of September. Now pay close attention to Thursday, the 11th of September. This day brings a significant change with a warmer 19 degrees Celsius high, but also considerable rain expected, around 6.86 millimeters. I'm marking this as a capricious to fair day. The rising temperature is good, but the incoming rain and associated pressure drop can make the fish a bit finicky. My advice, target the hours just before the main rain front hits. That's often when fish feed aggressively. After the rain starts, the bite might slow, especially in areas that get muddy. Consider fishing sheltered spots or slightly deeper water. The moon will still be in its waning gibbous phase. Friday, the 12th of September. Following the rain, Friday, the 12th of September, will see temperatures cooling to 15 degrees Celsius down to 12 degrees Celsius, with lighter rain around 4.57 millimeters. This is looking like a medium highlight day. Fish might be recovering from the previous day's weather system. The lighter rain might stir up some activity, especially in rivers where worms and insects are washed in. Focus on areas where the water clarity hasn't been severely impacted. Trout might be more active as conditions stabilize, but saltwater species could still be a bit slow if the water is murky. The moon remains waning gibbous. Saturday, the 13th of September. As we head into the weekend, Saturday, the 13th of September, brings cooler temperatures around 14 degrees Celsius with a low of 12 degrees Celsius and light rain about 1.02 millimeters. I'd rate this as a medium to good to day. With the weather settling a bit after the midweek disruption, fish should start to become more active again. Look for consistent feeding patterns in the morning and evening. The cooler temps might push some fish a little deeper, but they'll still be out looking for food. The waning gibbous moon transitioning towards the third quarter might offer some good tidal movements for saltwater fish. Sunday, the 14th of September. Wrapping up our week on Sunday, the 14th of September, with temperatures around 15 degrees Celsius, dropping to 11 degrees Celsius, and light rain, about 1.02 millimeters. This should be a Goodbye day. By now, the weather system will have passed, and fish should be back into a more regular feeding routine. The third quarter moon also provides stable, strong tides, which can be excellent for coastal fishing. Enjoy the last day of our forecast week by focusing on your favorite spots and presentations. Consistency will be key. So there you have it, my friends, a comprehensive look at the week ahead from the 8th to the 14th of September 2025 in our beautiful New Zealand waters. It's a week of transition, with spring taking hold, offering some fantastic opportunities if you play your cards right. Remember to observe your local conditions, adapt your tactics, and most importantly, enjoy every moment out there on the water. I wish you all tight lines and ni chwosta ni cheshui, that's no tail, no scales, for good luck. If you enjoyed this forecast, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And tell me in the comments below, what are your go-to spring baits and lures? What species are you hoping to catch this week? Share your wisdom and your fishing plans with our amazing community. Until next time, stay safe and happy fishing.